Hello everybody and what is up? This is Silence Pew Pew and I'm coming at you with another video. Today guys, we're going to be doing something a little different. Okay, we are going to be basically, I'm going to start a D&D campaign series. So I've been playing D&D with my friends this current campaign for a while, and we've been playing it all on Tabletop Simulator here. I'm the DM, so I'm going to give you guys basically the whole gist. We've played like 8 or 9 sessions so far. I've gotten a decent way through. Pretty much everybody started out at level 1. And now I think all of them are up to level 3, almost level 4. So basically, I gave them all a little bit of a gist that we would be starting in Riverdale, which is this town that you see here before you. Now, I want to point out that I did not create any of these 3D models. Someone else did. These 3D models are all very, very nice. Oopsies. Um, very nice here. Beautiful. I love them. They're great. The houses, same thing, very, very great. There's plenty of different 3D models that you can find out there. You can type in D&D towns, D&D RPG, town folk, whatever you want. You're going to find stuff. We'll see down here's a nice little marketplace, some trees. Again, I did not build any of these 3D models, not even these path tiles, nothing like that. I'm actually going to try to start doing some of that. Maybe I'll make some videos on that, actually. Either way, again, all of these houses, they're very nice. I didn't make any of them. The only thing that I did make was this map, so I put all of these pieces on the map. I did not build any of these pieces, though. These chickens, look at the chickens. Anyways, okay, so, my campaign, I guess, does not have a, name to it. Let me just give you some overall things. So basically, this is what I kind of told my players. I was told them that all of the items in my world will cost more than they would in a normal D&D session. All NPCs are level 3 or higher. Now, what that means is, like, this townsfolk is level 3. Um, he's not necessarily level 3, though, like fighter or, anything like that. He's more along the lines of, like, a level 3 NPC level. So, basically, it would be equivalent of maybe a level 1, maybe almost a level 2 person. Guards, again, they're going to be progressing with you, so kind of like they do in Skyrim. So they're going to be kind of hard to take down, but not terribly. So overall, again, though they're going to be NPC levels, but they're always going to be one more level than you. So if the whole party is level 4, or when I add up the party level and I divide it, it's 4, or 3 or 2 or whatever it would be, all guards are NPC level plus 1 of that. Also, over time, I do end up giving them actual fighter levels, so that actually does increase their deadliness just by a little bit more. That's just to kind of keep my players on their toes, make sure that they don't just decide, you know what, we're going to kill everybody in the town. Go around doing the normal murder hobo kind of style. Oh yes, and then also, my world is not fond of half-elves, half-orcs, or tieflings. They are the discriminated against race. Elves in my world, as I feel like in most people's worlds, think very highly of themselves. And humans do as well, actually, in this one. So humans don't really like to interbreed, neither do elves. So that's kind of why you get these people who don't like halflings and not halflings, my bad, half-elves and half-orcs. Because in order for that to happen, a human and elf, human and orc kind of thing. And then from there, it can be a half-orc and half-orc as your parents, and tieflings are kind of like a deal with the devil at some point. And again, that's, or a demon, that's a human. So at least from what I understand anyways, I haven't read anything that says that you can be, that your parents can be any other race other than human. So your mother could be a tiefling and your dad could be a human, and that's fine. But at some point in your generation line, anyways, from my understanding of tieflings, is that someone made a deal with a demon, a devil, something along those lines, or I guess um, something else is possible too. But either way, I'm pretty sure that can only be human. If not, that's fine. Either way, those are the things that I told them. There are 4 seasons and a total of 63 days per season, roughly. So that is basically all the information I told them. They did not really ask me for anything else. Um, so that is pretty much all that the information I gave them. I said if there's anything else you guys want to know, let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, they didn't ask me anything else. They did ask a couple of questions in regarding to the character. If I do recall correctly, how we did it was they rolled their dice. I gave them four d6s, and I allowed them to roll it 4 times, re-rolling ones, and taking the highest 3 dice, I believe, as well. So that kind of gives you a little bit more than heroic rating. So it doesn't give you legendary rating. Legendary rating would obviously be allowing them to roll all 4d6s and add them all up, re-rolling ones, and sometimes even people do it re-rolling twos. But not letting them go over 20. What ends up happening with that, though, is most of the time you get basically everybody at 18, like their lowest rank skill is like normally like a 16, which we didn't. That could be fun, but at the same time, I think it's better to just be a bit better than everybody else. So heroic. So a lot of people in my group here, my yeah, I guess my group, D&D group. I think most of them their lowest is like an 11. We did get almost everyone got I think at least 118 or close to an 18. Some people did get a little more than an 18 because of class bonuses and racial bonuses and stuff like that, but not too important. So, first person we're going to kind of introduce you to um, is going to be Magus. Let's see here. Did I pass? Sorry, guys. So, Magus, hey, it didn't spawn in his full set. Huh. Okay, I guess never mind then. So either way, Magus, the brief information that we're going to tell you about him. So this is not the most up to date class. However, uh, Magus is a sorcerer. He started out as a sorcerer, um, and he is a half elf. He chose to be a half elf, and that's how he went about his life. Um, yeah, his small background story to him is that he was living in the streets of Darmesh. This is not Darmesh, again, this is Riverdale. And he went on to. Uh, he was living on the streets of Darmesh. Let me just start that. He was living on the streets of Darmesh, and he had this female mentor, kind of, who would help him out, give him some food, give him money, tell him to do certain things to help himself out, stuff like that. And she disappeared a little bit ago, and he went down to Riverdale to try to find her to see if anybody down here had heard about her or anything like that. So that's why he's headed down to Riverdale. And then we have Dio Treespeak. Again, he is another one of my first. He's another one. So he is actually just a full elf. So they all went along and found either a picture on the internet or a 3D model of what they look like. So this is what Dio imagines himself to kind of look like. Again, it's not a perfect representation, but that's what he kind of wanted to look like. Yeah. So that was Dio. Dio, again, like I said, he is a full elf and he is a druid. So his backstory is that he was living in the woods with his father, who happened to be a human. His social cues are very bad. That is, he does a pretty good job. The first couple sessions we played, he did an amazing job at keeping his social cues down. So, like, whenever somebody, rubs their fingers together, he's like, he doesn't know what to do. I remember I did that a couple of times to him, and he did something. He said some funny things. I just can't remember what they are now. But overall, though, he doesn't realize certain things. I'll be talking to him, and I'll be rambling on as the DM, as an NPC, and his character will just be like, "Yeah, I'm bored of this," and walk away. His character didn't understand money either, so the whole concept of it was like, "Why would I give you these coins that have you can't do anything with these coins for food? That doesn't make any sense." Um, which, if you think about it, it's from his perspective, because he's a druid, he lives off the land kind of thing. Air quotes around that, however you want to say it, but that's kind of how his style is. And so his father was a human. He didn't know his father was actually human, though. He didn't realize that there was different races per se. Um, but his father ended up getting very, very sick, to the point where he was basically like paralyzed and couldn't move. Dio decided that he was going to try to keep his father alive, try to get him better, and kept him alive for over a year. And at that point, he was starting to run low, and his father was not improving. He was just kept getting worse. So he was like, "Okay, it's time to let him go." So he let his father die, and then he set off for the nearest town, in hopes to find somebody else or something else to do. Yep, and then we have Nasherda. So Nasharda, I don't know how to say his name. The player always corrects us, even I think no matter when it's the other one. So this here is Nasherda. Um, Again, this is kind of what Nasherda would have looked like. Not 100%. For one, I know he has a black cloak instead with a hood, not a green. I don't think he had a short bow, but either way. So Nasherda was part. No, what was Nasherda? Nasherda was a halfling, not a halfling, a half elf as well, I do believe. Let me just see. I think this is the right one. Half elf, yep. Nasherda was a half elf, yep. And he had the same kind of thing. So he was never really liked where he was. He was a criminal in his past. I do believe that was what it was. Right? Criminal, yeah, criminal. Um, and he was part of this criminal organization, kind of more like a mercenary group, if you will, almost like more of a mercenary group. And he would go out and he would ask, or he wasn't the leader of the group per se, but he had a group of small friends who they were all criminals, kind of mercenaries. They would get hired to steal things, rob people, or sabotage buildings, anything of the such. They would kind of go out and do that. So it was kind of like a mercenary for hire crime group. They were pretty good at their job. They got hired to steal this item sometime, and they were getting paid a lot of money. They were getting paid, I believe, each 5,000 gold, was what they were going to be given, which now, understand, in this world, 5,000 gold, um, with how my worlds work anyways, basically in your entire, like, 12, well, in your entire year, you would probably make anywhere between 10 to 15 gold as like a regular working person. So having 5,000 gold would set you up for life. You would never need to do anything else, basically. You would never need to work. You could just buy a pretty big house and keep going on with your life. So, that was a big red flag for them. They weren't sure what they were doing, but they went ahead and they accepted the mission. And they all kind of got assigned to different. His crime group or crime mercenaries, whatever you want to call them, kind of got all assigned to different things. So him and some of his friends went out and they were supposed to steal this item. They weren't told what the item was, but they were told where it was and what the crate that it was in looked like. So they go out, they steal this item, and they are told not to open up the package, and they open up the package to see what it is, and they find that it's this wooden dagger, just a regular old wooden dagger, nothing fancy about it. It looks like a regular dagger that these rogues would have, or thieves would have, and it's just wooden now. And they're like, what the heck? What is so important about this that they're giving us $5,000 for it? So instead of returning that dagger, Nishirta decides he's going to keep it. And what ends up happening then is the people who hired him, which are Nickel Raven and Kisin, uh, capture Nashirta's family and then capture Nishirta. Uh, so by telling him, "Hey, we got your family here. Now come give us the knife, and we'll let them go." And Nishirta is smart enough, and he does not bring the knife with him, but he unfortunately gets captured, and he has to watch them as they kill his family right in front of his eyes. And they knock him out, beat him up a bit, and then release him back into the world. Now, most of this happened in a port city called Ashton. Some of it happened near Darmesh, and they release him, and he spent months trying to track them down. They kind of started going on a very elusive motive. They were traveling around. Kisin and Nickel Raven were moving around a lot, and he got word that they were in Darmesh. So he's at this point when he wakes up and gets himself all back together, composes himself. He heads to Darmesh. He's not able to find him there. He starts getting some leads that they might have gone to Riverdale, and that's why he ends up going to Riverdale. So that's kind of just the backstories of all the characters um, thrown together. Yeah, and you know what? I think that's a good stopping point for this video. That's kind of the background story of all the characters and what they're doing now and why they're headed to Riverdale. And in the next video, we'll catch you guys up on more of the storyline. I'm going to try to make the next one, maybe I might break it up into two a little bit briefer, because I do actually kind of want to maybe just live stream these events, us just playing D&D. Um, and I think that'll be a lot of fun, yeah. So expect one or two more of these videos, kind of just catching you guys up to where we actually are at. Um, and we'll see how it goes from there. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you want, leave a like, subscribe. That'd be great. Thanks, guys, and I'll talk to you on the next video.